Good evening, everyone. My name is Heather Kelly, and I am very honored to be able to speak with you tonight on the unceded traditional territory of the Stolo peoples. It has been a privilege to be able to receive my education on this land and to be able to share my experiences with the UFV community tonight. I hope you've been enjoying this amazing evening so far, and I'm sure that you would all agree that it's such a great feeling to be able to celebrate in person again this year. Now, although we all have different interests and we come from different backgrounds, the one thing that unites us all and brings us here tonight is research. It's one thing to receive a higher education, but it's another to be able to apply the knowledge you have learned through research that can be used outside of the classroom to benefit society as a whole. Research has been one of the most influential parts of my degree, and I'm sure many of you feel the same way. I started research in Dr. Lucili's lab at the beginning of my second year. And at the time, I had no idea what research really entailed, and I had barely any lab skills. However, after seeing a volunteer opportunity came up, I applied and was luckily welcomed into the lab. I thought I was just going to be getting a few hours of volunteer experience out of the opportunity. But little did I know this was just the first step towards countless other learning experiences. With guidance from amazing faculty like Dr. Justin Lee and Dr. Lucy Lee, and other students in the lab, I quickly gained many technical skills. And the best part was that my research and this hands-on learning directly complemented the courses I was taking for my degree, and I could use the concepts to further develop my learning. Eventually, my research even became one of my courses, as I was able to transition my research into a Bio 409 directed studies course. There have been countless other opportunities that wouldn't have been possible without my involvement in research. Along with many other students here tonight, I'm very honored to have received an NSERC Undergraduate Student Research Award. These national level awards provide funding to gain relevant work experience. And by working in the lab full-time for an entire semester, I was able to gain further confidence in my ability to facilitate my own research. And throughout my time in the lab, I learned how to professionally illustrate my data by creating research posters, and I developed my public speaking skills by giving multiple presentations, such as at UFV Student Research Day and multiple international conferences. I've also been amazed by all of the connections I've been able to make through my research. When I first came to UFV, I never expected to be having weekly meetings with the Dean of Science and one of my professors, but they quickly became mentors that I could go to for any advice. In addition to creating connections with faculty, I was happy to have some great friends to work with in the research lab. And even better, we all get to leave tomorrow morning for San Diego, where we're going to present our research at an international conference, while also enjoying some much-needed beach time. The ability to attend conferences and share our knowledge with people and colleagues from around the world is one of the most amazing opportunities to make even more connections. And this is possible due to UFV and their student travel grants. Throughout my research, I have also gotten to work with numerous other community partners, and our collaborators have been able to share their expertise and further enrich my learning experience. I hope that all of you have also been able to make a personal connection with your faculty mentors and other student researchers. This support system is invaluable, and I know that I wouldn't have received as many of these opportunities without the support of my research team. I am so thankful for my supervisors who are happy to pass on their knowledge and offer their support and guidance throughout my program and my research. I've grown tremendously throughout my degree, and I've gained vital skills from my time in the lab. We all know experiments never go perfectly the first time, and although this may appear to be a downside to research, it's actually one of the most beneficial parts. When I first started researching, I thought that my experiments would just go perfectly the first time. But of course, I quickly learned this was not the case. The magical part about constantly dealing with obstacles is that you develop some pretty amazing problem-solving skills. And I quickly gained patience and was persistent until I could get all the pieces to fit together for the desired outcome. Throughout your degree and the rest of your life, there's going to be countless problems to solve. But our time as research students will greatly benefit us in our ability to solve these problems. Additionally, we can use these skills to find solutions to greater worldwide problems. And many of you are doing this right now. After participating at UFV's Student Research Day, it was clear to me that each of our projects were pieces that contributed to a much larger picture to bring positive changes to our community. Whether it's fighting climate change through the investigation of our local water systems, or finding ways to benefit our healthcare systems, we each use our specialized skill sets to contribute to our communities in positive, meaningful ways. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Hello, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Nafeel Arshad, and I'm very excited to be joining you all this evening. I would also like to acknowledge my incredible student colleagues for their accomplishments, which are going to be recognized tonight. I feel very fortunate to be on this stage today, though I could have never imagined that 4 years ago, when I started my bachelor's degree in kinesiology, that I would ever be here. I have always been academically inclined and enjoy exploring the limits of my knowledge. When I applied to UFV, I know that I wanted to take advantage of the smaller classes and the opportunity to dive deeper into all that kinesiology had to offer. So, throughout my time at UFV, I engaged as often as I could with my classes and professors and participated in a number of extracurricular activities that pushed me not only as a student, but as an individual as well. It wasn't until the end of my third year that I started to realize that research is actually important. It was a foundation upon which the knowledge, skills, and the abilities that I was acquiring in the classroom were based upon. I also realized that research might just afford me the chance to gain new skills that differed from what I was receiving in the classroom. However, I was undecided as to whether I even wanted to be involved in research, and I had no idea on what type of research I was even interested in. So, I spoke with some of my peers about their experiences with research and really honed in on what I would want out of a research experience. All of this brought me to the realization that I was curious and excited at the prospect of trying research. However, I was still unclear on a topic area. So, during my first month of my fourth year at UFV, I reviewed the faculty directory and read about my professors' interests. I made a list of those professors whose interests aligned with my own and started to send out emails seeking opportunities. Now, not having any previous research experience definitely made me an unlikely candidate for the professors I was emailing, but I remained persistent and optimistic, and I started to hear back from some professors. Unfortunately, most of the opportunities were just not available, as they were just not seeking any research assistance, with the exception of Dr. Amanda Wers, who had actually just started at UFV. So we met and discussed at length about our area of research, and as we did, her excitement and passion for a topic transferred over to me. And so, even though I had no experience, I felt excited to learn more about her field of study. And as luck would have it, she was looking for a research assistant for a recently funded project and got started with bringing me on board, sending me research to read, arranging meetings, and getting me equipped to assist. The study was an online survey and consisted of follow-up online interviews exploring the psychosocial health, physical activity, and comfort and gathering among adults affected by cancer in the context of the ever-changing COVID-19 landscape. Right away, I absolutely loved it. And when I communicated that with Dr. Wers, she invited me to be involved in another study, analyzing data from a study exploring the experiences of young adults affected by cancer in an online yoga program. Between these two projects, I have gained experience conducting research with the clinical population and have had the opportunity to meet cancer patients and survivors one-on-one, and to learn more about how cancer has affected their lives and the role that COVID has played within that. I've collected and analyzed both quantitative and qualitative data, and have had the experience in preparing ethics applications and recruiting participants. Fast forward to today, I presented my work at the UFV Student Research Day, was a co-author on a presentation at an international conference, am currently contributing actively as a co-author in 2 upcoming manuscripts, and will be aiding with community outreach to discuss the findings of the projects that I have been involved with. Engaging in research at UFV has given me the opportunity to expand my connections and to collaborate with other research assistants, students, faculty members within and beyond UFV. I believe the opportunity to be involved in research has enriched my learning significantly, has challenged me to think differently, and has ultimately pushed me beyond my own comfort zone. Being involved in research has taken my education outside of lectures, labs, and seminars, and into an area where I can think critically and actually learn to apply my knowledge. I truly feel that I've been able to hone in valuable life skills and know my abilities to communicate, think critically, and convey information effectively has improved. For example, being part of a team that spanned institutions and that was conducting research on a national scale afforded me the opportunity to improve my interpersonal communication skills and learn how to work effectively alongside a group of people. I learned how to lead interviews with the clinical population, conveying empathy and understanding, while also collecting rigorous data. I believe research is what moves us forward. Research is what helps us improve our healthcare, school systems, relationships, and even ourselves. Research is what fills the textbooks that we learn from. Research is driven by the simple or complex questions that we seek to answer. It allows us to get curious, ask questions, and dedicate ourselves to discovering everything there is to know about a particular topic. The research team that I can now proudly say that I'm a part of is committed to enhancing the length and quality of life of individuals affected by cancer through health behavior changes and accessible and effective physical activity opportunities. And as a researcher, I am committed to staying curious to ask and answer the big and little questions that I believe that I have the capacity to make a true change. Thank you.